Is Candace Owens about to win herself a Golden Globe? What is going on with the Golden Globe? Sydney Sweeney is pissed off all the MLB fans now that she's made her grand entrance during the World Series. And Jamie Lee Curtis is clapping back at the Charlie Kirk haters. We have lots to get into today. I hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in. This is No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. And dive in we shall. We have lots to get into today as we celebrate the 29th day that our government has officially been closed, but we'll get into that in just a sec. Let's welcome today's guests back on No Filter. David Leon and Shawn on the right. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Excited to be back.
How are you? Are we alive and thriving, or are we alive and surviving?
Well, I mean, it's 29 days of the government shutdown, and nothing in my life has changed, so we're thriving.
Yeah, I would say probably a dead center mix of thriving and surviving, you know? I don't want to get cocky and say I'm thriving, because then we'll have another October surprise of some kind. So,
oh yeah, we don't need any more October surprises. No. Listen, I'm alive and surviving. Currently battling a fun little There's some legal stuff that I'm battling that I probably should not talk about. Publicly.
Let's not do that.
It's been a fun week. One dog has been having skin issues. Another dog has an ear infection, and I've been just trying to hold it all together. But we're alive.
You look great, Zack.
Do you like my shirt, Shawn?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. I just noticed this. This is the
I was waiting for you to notice that we are so back.
Is that what it says? Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we are so back.
That was my real live reaction. It was probably hideous. That is from, thank you, Zack. Thank you so much for wearing this on the air. 47 Club, shop47club.com. It's FORTYSEDEN.com is the t-shirt brand that I launched because I lost my job last year. And Zack, thank you so much for wearing that on screen.
That's awesome.
Beside myself. Thank you.
Yes, I'm wearing, I'm wearing the We Are So Back shirt. I also love the Liberty or Death cowboy shirt. I almost wore that one today because that one I think is my personal
favorite that I've done. Yeah. I cut off the sleeves to make it a cutoff.
I know. I want to steal that idea. I want to do the same.
Well, I'm glad that your package got there safely. And thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means that you're sharing this and wearing that on screen. I appreciate you.
Shop 47 Club. Go shop it. Shop it. Shop 47 Club. All right. What do we want to start with first, guys? We have a lot to get into. Should we talk about, did you see, this is more of breaking news that just happened. Sydney Sweeney has broken the internet yet again.
I did not.
The James Bond thing?
No. So people are upset that she did an opening monologue for the World Series. So when Fox debuted the World Series this week, she came out and she did, I mean, it was kind of like a cute about like, you know, in Hollywood, it's not easy to make it because you have to be like the best of the best, right? And so she talks about how like the World Series is the best of the best. So when you're playing the best of the best, it's like I don't know. They just had her as like a quintessential Hollywood actress that, is Hollywood royalty as she introduces the World Series, which is royalty. And people are mad because obviously she did the American Eagle ad, and then she did another. She did another ad.
It was the shoes. Hey Dudes, right?
Yes,
I believe.
And Carl's Jr. I think maybe. No,
is Carl's Jr. controversial?
Nowadays,
I guess
everything is controversial, Zack.
Everything is controversial.
Everything. My question is,
I know. Did you guys hear there was we were having a march a couple weeks ago to shut down Burger King? I was so confused.
It worked. It worked.
Did it work? Is Burger King out of business?
I wouldn't know. I haven't been to Burger King
Funded by
since
McDonald's.
1999.
I haven't been to Burger King. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I was at a Burger King. It's been decades. But so yeah, people are upset with Sydney Sweeney because they think that, you know, she's the Antichrist or something.
I want to know, do anyone on the screen, does anyone know what it is that the issue is? What is the issue that people have with Sydney Sweeney?
The issue is that she's gorgeous, she's hot, she's extremely popular, and she was on like an extremely popular show as an extremely popular character on Euphoria, and it's like a show about growing up, so a lot of young people were idolizing that entire cast, you know, like everybody, they were all like literally everybody in that cast became like a fan favorite, and people would like obsess with them over TikTok. So like the youth and the left felt like they owned her a bit, you know what I mean? And the fact that she kind of stepped out, and I think the first thing she got in trouble with was pictures at like a family reunion or something, and then like some of her family members were wearing MAGA hats in the background, and then they're like, "Oh, Sydney Sweeney, closet Republican." That was like years ago too.
I don't even think it was MAGA hats.
She was a Hollywood darling.
It was like, but it wasn't MAGA. It was like a play on MAGA, like make 40s great again, make 50s great. Like it was like a make something great again, but it was MAGA, I guess, adjacent. So people were upset with that. And then their brains were really broken with the American Eagle ad. Yeah, because she said Sydney Sweeney has good genes. Because she's white, suddenly it's fascist.
That I understand. But it was just like, it's the infatuation with Sydney Sweeney that I can't comprehend.
And then she was selling bathwater soap.
Yeah, and I don't understand. Look, she's gorgeous, and maybe it's my gay man. I mean, like I would be friends with her, but I don't understand the infatuation.
It's because she's leaning into like the whole "we are so back, hot people are back. It's cool to be blonde, hot, and like skinny again." Like all of that is like we're kind of going back to a little bit of like a 2000s era, which is like lovely. I love that. It's like a mix of the 2000s and the 1980s with like slightly more cocaine, but it's like I think what they're getting concerned with is that she's like, so many young girls idolize her, so they don't want her to be steered wrong. And she was such a big, like, men love her so much too. Like she's definitely like straight guy bait, and I feel like straight guys were getting what they wanted: a blonde, gorgeous, very well endowed young lady. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my god, we can gawk at women again, sweet. So I just think they hate that, because she's kind of like going with this whole non-feminist, corporate HR girly vibe. She fits into it perfectly, you know.
Brad wife.
She's leaning into her hotness.
Yeah. Here, let's play a clip from her latest fascism campaign.
Right? Why not romanticize a bit? Why not roll out the red carpet for our guests and place their names exactly where they belong? High above the streets and shining lights. Why not? Because the truth is, chasing this dream isn't glamorous. It's not perfect or effortless. The road here isn't silk and champagne. Okay, that's not entirely true. It's over 170 games. It's dog days, summer days, and rainy days. It's buses at midnight and flights that land when the sun's already up.
Kirk has changed game 3.
Winning, real winning, isn't polished. It's bruised.
Play at the plate. He scores from first.
It's messy.
He's out.
It's imperfect. It's everything you can't fake. Welcome to Game 4 of the World Series on Fox.
So there you go. That's the campaign that has the internet in an uproar.
Well, that goes to show how absolutely out of touch and gay I am, because when you originally said World Series, I was thinking soccer, and I was like, oh, maybe it's because it's like super European and she's like too American. And then I see that it's baseball. I'm like, that's an even better fit, man. Like, cherry pie
you-
or apple pie.
Are you not watching the World
Dude.
Series?
Did you play any sports growing up?
Am I watching the World Series? I heard the Mariners were going to get close to or whatever. That's like my home team that sucks ass. But I only watched sports one time in my life, which was when I moved to Minneapolis for a year, and I would go out to the sports bars and then watch football, because then you get to meet other people from your home city. If it's like a Seattle game was playing, I would go to the bar because then like other Seattle people would go to the bar, and that was a way to like meet people. But no. Oh, and I went to my first and only Minnesota Vikings game, and it was like the first game they won in like. So I might be a good luck charm, but you won't catch me at a sporting event unless I'm like really, really having a good time. If you know what I mean.
I'm cracking up. David, that seems very typical. I played shortstop, just saying, and it scores me gay points. Played baseball growing up, shortstop, and then was bumped to left field, and then I gave up. No, what I do know about this this video of Sydney Sweeney is she does look like every single woman on Fox News, which I do believe
She looks like Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, it's the isn't this a thing? Don't they call it the like Republican makeup and Democrat makeup? Like, wasn't that a trend?
It is giving Bombshell, like the film about Fox News. It's giving Bombshell.
Yeah. Other than that, the only thing that I saw were a bunch of men running around, sliding into each other, which is fabulous. I don't see anything else wrong with it. What's controversial about this?
Like you said, she's wearing the Republican makeup. You're watching the World Series, right, Shawn?
I've been a little preoccupied. No, wait a minute. I asked Siri like for updates, but like, first of all, I don't even have cable anymore. How am I supposed to watch?
It's not on cable. It's on basic TV. It's on streaming. It's on YouTube.
What? I don't have YouTube TV. These are things that I don't have. Do you know what I have? I don't even have Netflix anymore. I don't think. I have Apple TV Plus. I have Apple TV Plus. That's it. How do people watch? I don't know how people watch TV anymore. We used to have cable and everything. I don't know. No, but I do ask Siri for updates. And listen, I will go out to a sports bar, and I'll go out to the bar and watch a game. If you want to go, I will fly out to LA and go out to the bar and watch a game with you. I will. But I don't know. It's just I've had other things keeping me preoccupied.
Courtney, it's not a competition of how much TV you watch. You're like Kourtney Kardashian. Like, I don't even own a TV. What is a television? What is Wi-Fi?
Yeah, thank you, Kourtney Kardashian.
No,
exactly.
It's not that. It's just like I just don't.
I don't watch TV either.
He prefers the live theater. Live theater.
Oh no, I'd love to stream. I stream at like 2:00 in the morning. So I don't know when these games are happening, but I'm definitely not watching them live.
Okay, well, I'll catch you up to speed. It's been a really dismal World Series. The Blue Jays have won 2 games. The Dodgers have won 2 games. Last night's game was so bad. Like, the Dodgers were destroyed in Game 1 and Game 4. And then Game 3 was a wild one because it went 18 innings. 18.
Wow.
Do you know what that means, David?
There are 19 holes, I'm sure. No. So 18 out of 19 is pretty damn good, I would say.
No, it's the complete opposite. So there are only 9 innings. I was explaining this to someone last night, to another gay after my run club. I was explaining. So in a baseball game, there are 9 innings, okay? A total of 9. And so whoever has the most points at the end of the 9th inning wins the game.
Points.
Okay? I'm following, kind of.
And so there was a tie score. It was 5-5 at the bottom of the 9th. So when it's a tie score, then it goes into the 10th, and then you see you try to break the tie. So for the next 9 innings, they were trying to break the same fucking tie.
Oh, okay.
It was 5-5 for 9 more innings past when the game was supposed to be done.
So literally doubled the game.
Doubled the entire game, and the second half of the entire game was just 5-5 until the very end when the Dodgers scored 1 final point, and then they won 6-5.
Does that make the game like super long?
Yeah. Well, yes.
You only have 5 apples, so there are only 9 innings in a whole game. This had 18 innings. It was 2 games in 1.
So hole in one.
Like David, just to give you background, like baseball in general has historically had an issue with time. And so we, a few years ago implemented some new strategies to try and speed up the game because people were getting bored with watching the games. So 18 innings. Wow. I did not see that on the headlines.
So basically they didn't like score a touchdown till the very end of the thing. So everyone's just like on the edge of their seat waiting for it to be over.
This is my favorite thing.
Yeah, touchdowns are football. That's the Super Bowl that's coming up. Who's playing? Oh, that's the Bad Bunny concert that everybody's so
Bad Bunny's playing.
Suddenly everybody's a Bad Bunny fan.
It's Bad Bunny versus Lady Gaga, I think, or something. I don't know who's playing the Super Bowl.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick ad break and then we will dive into the Golden Globes to get it to make the show gay again. We're gonna make No Filter gay.
Thank you. I've been dying.
Okay, I know you've seen a million different ads for hair growth products and thought, yeah, sure, like that actually works. I did too, okay? And then I found Nutrafol, which I can confidently say isn't like the rest of them. Nutrafol is physician formulated, clinically tested, and dermatologist recommended. If you're dealing with hair issues like thinning or shedding, but you feel stuck and aren't sure what to try next, I highly recommend you give Nutrafol a try, okay? Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF content certified. That's the gold standard, okay, in third-party certification for supplements. See thicker, stronger, faster hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code NOFILTER. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code NOFILTER. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code NOFILTER. All right, who wants to build up their credit this year? Okay, I know I do. Did you know that 1 in 5 of us don't even qualify for a basic credit card? I feel like the system is broken, and that's where Kick comes in, okay? I'm excited that I signed up for Kick because now, you know what I can do? I can use my rent payments to help build my credit, and it's been working. Okay, users with a credit score of under 600 grew an average of 84 points in their first year with on-time payments. With transparent, affordable plans starting at just $5 per month, no hidden fees, and 0 interest, Kick helps you score big when it comes to credit. It's simple. You make on-time payments, your credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit can grow fast. With the Premium Ultimate Plan, the rent reporting feature helps you build credit with the rent you already pay. Plus, only positive on-time payments get reported to boost your credit. All right, so start building credit today for only $1 per month. Start building credit with Kickoff today and get your first month for as little as $1 per month. That's 80% off the normal price when you go to getkickoff.com/nofilter. That's Kickoff without the C. That's getKIKOFF.com/nofilter. The link is also in the description below. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/nofilter to activate offer. Offer applies to new Kickoff customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Average first year credit score impact of plus 84 points between January 2023 and January 2024 for Kickoff credit account users who started with a score below 600, who paid on time, and who had no delinquencies or collections added to their credit profile during the period. Late payments may negatively impact your credit score. Individual results may vary. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, Golden Globes. Did you guys see this story? So the Golden Globes has just announced that they have a new category coming that is the best podcast category that they're kicking off for the 83rd Golden Globes next year. They're going to take place in January. So it is officially time to start bidding for those nominees. And so I'm going to read the 25 podcasts that they consider eligible for a nomination.
Great.
2020 by ABC News, 48 Hours by CBS News, Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard, Call Her Daddy, Candace, hosted by Candace Owens, Crime Junkie, Dateline NBC, Good Hang with Amy Poehler, Morbid, Mr. Ballin Podcast, Pardon My Take, Pod Saves America, Rotten Mango, Shawn Ryan Show, Smartless, Stuff You Should Know, The Ben Shapiro Show, The Bill Simmons Podcast, The Daily by The New York Times, The Joe Rogan Experience, The Megyn Kelly Show, The Mel Robbins Podcast, The Tucker Carlson Show, This Past Weekend with Theo Vaughn, and Up First from NPR.
Wow.
Are you guys surprised by the number of conservative shows that were added to this list?
Yes and no. Like, it should be more because we dominate the space, but am I shocked that they're even acknowledging us? Yes, especially people like Tucker and Candace. But that's super exciting. That's actually that's crazy. That actually blew my mind. I wonder if it's because originally when you told me, I didn't even know this. Originally when you told me that they were going to have a podcast category, I thought this was just a way for them to essentially advertise their own people and kind of astroturf. Since what they've been talking about since the 2024 election is that they need their own Rogan, they need their own Shapiro, you know what I mean? So at first I just thought that, but hey, that's nuts. Even if just to have their faces up there as nominees, that's actually nuts.
Well,
I don't think anyone will be more mad about the nominations than Blake Lively when she sees Candace Owens up there.
Candace. Oh my God. Well, to clarify, so these aren't this isn't the official list of nominees. So these are the people that the Golden Globes is saying we are going to consider to be our final 5 nominees.
It's
so
like their nomination pool, kind of.
Yeah,
like,
these are the ones that they're allowing. These are the you got the invite to the party, and now you have to grovel in order to get in the door. So they all have to fight for their chance to get one of those 5 slots.
And can we be honest? Like I think that we know, like, this is pay to play, right? Like,
1000%.
That's how these award shows work. Like, we're talking about, publicity. They're buying the award for publicity. And I do think that what's interesting about this is that podcasting, first of all, would love to see No Filter on that list. Not sure why it didn't make the cut, but no, but I think that what's interesting about podcasters is that, especially in this past election cycle, what we saw was that it kind of democratized media. And so I don't see very many of these voices being like, yeah, I really want a Golden Globe for this. They kind of are anti-establishment, the anti-establishment version of the media, right? I mean, I guess you want a Golden Globe to put on your shelf, but it doesn't mean the same thing to these podcasters that it does to, the rest of the media.
So once you make the list, so first you have to make the team, right? You have to be at one of the 25 options on the list. Then you have to pay $500 to then be considered by the Golden Globes. Okay. Then from there, you have to pay $5,000 if you want to upload your projects to the Golden Globes screening platform so that the people that vote, they can become a little more familiar. So it's $500 just to be considered. Then you have to pay $5,000 to get your content seen by the people that are voting, because even though they put this list together, they still aren't familiar enough with your content to decide whether or not you're worthy enough for the nomination. Okay. Then you have to pay $25,000. So it just you keep going up the tiers. Then you have to pay $25,000 if you want to become a supporting partner of the Podcast for Your Consideration Fest, which gets you a variety panel, where you can then pitch to the room of everybody that has voting power in the Golden Globes. You can then have a panel in front of them. And then there are additional reports that you can pay $35,000 to get a custom 15-minute variety moderated conversation at this event as well. And then if you really want to go big, you can pay $75,000 to get the Variety Creative Impact Award in podcasting, which gives you top tier feature.
So it's a bureaucracy. So basically, even if they do kind of give like a little bit of a wink and a nod to right-wing spaces, like, no right winger is going to go through all of that. They're not going to have variety.
That's not what they're saying. So they're saying, even though Theo Von, his rep, has come out and said, yeah, he's absolutely not even going to pay attention to this. They're saying that they have a separate, or Page Six is reporting, or the Ankler is reporting that they have a separate source that says that Theo Von's actually really considering his options. He's considering that $75,000 panel. As if any of these people even need a Golden Globe to give them any sort of status. They also claim that Candace Owens is on the fence about participating as well. Do you guys actually think Candace Owens would give a shit to actually go through this process to potentially vie for a Golden Globe? Do you think they would even let her win, even if she, let's say she does everything? She pays all the way up to the $75,000. Do you actually believe that the people in the room that then have voting power would even give her the vote?
No, but I think that she's preoccupied currently. My understanding is she's pretty preoccupied with enough controversy. I don't think that Candace Owens cares about a Golden Globe. And I really don't think that many of the names that you listed, Shawn Ryan, Joe Rogan, Megyn Kelly, Theo Von, Tucker, I really don't think that these people need a Golden Globe I think that they have enough credibility. I don't think that people care about this as much as they think. Yeah. But what it does sound like to me is like going to buy something from Best Buy, where it's like we have to add a 2-year warranty and then Geek Squad protection and delivery, and this sounds like a money grab to me. So.
If she does decide to do it, though, she has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever when she doesn't win and then goes up and takes the mic and says, I had one of the best podcasts of all time. I'm gonna let you finish. Like, that would just be worth it in and of itself. And I want to see her on a red carpet. I'm sure she could eat a look or two if she's not, pregnant with her 25th child at the time. It would be really great to see her in a fun slinky, something hot, or she should show up as like Mother Mary or something, who knows, but there's opportunities here. There's definitely opportunities.
How you come up with these things, David, is actually impressive. I would never have connected those dots between her, Kanye, and the award ceremony. I'm impressed with you.
It would be so funny. I mean,
it's also such a cheap way of the Golden Globes to be like, look at, we welcomed conservative voices. We gave them an opportunity to be part of this, and they all turned it down. They all rejected us, but we kept that door open. When it's like you really expect Theo Von to pay you $75,000 so that he could get a variety panel in front of all these people that are not going to vote for him anyway because their politics are so polarizing that they would never vote for a conservative.
And like thinking about like the worlds colliding right now is actually so insane because like where we are even today is so different than we were 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago. But like,
did we lose them or is that?
I think. Oh, all right. We'll bring him back in a second. Here's who I do. I think Dax Shepard will be on the list. I think Caller Daddy will be on the list. They're absolutely going to pay the money to get Alex at the front of it. I think Amy Poehler will be on the list. I think her team will pay for that. I think I can see Pod Saves America in there just to be like, one, I think they can afford it. And two, I think they would do it for the, I guess the clout that they would get from it.
Am I back?
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm getting phone calls now. Like I'm on Do Not Disturb, but still somehow getting a call.
If they continue to call, like if they call more than once, it'll put the call through.
Oh, so they want to die. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, worlds colliding right now, which is so insane to consider. Tucker Carlson is potentially in the nomination pool for a Golden freaking Globe. And who did he just have on his show like the other day? Nick freaking Fuentes. It's like this is like worlds and planets colliding that it's not like going anywhere. It's kind of unavoidable and something that I've been like thinking a lot about because the topics that they cover isn't something that I necessarily do, but it's going to be something that's going to be inescapable and unavoidable, just like what's going on in Gaza and all of that. And like people are going to want like normal like well-adjusted voices to kind of filter through what they're seeing and explain their thoughts on it, you know? So I feel like avoiding people or like subjects, which we've been very, very good at doing as a party and like as a country for so long, specifically with like people that we like cancel, like Candace, Tucker, Nick, whatever. That's not going anywhere. So it's like, it's kind of like fighting against AI or fighting against the tide. Like, it's all coming to a head, and like just trying to imagine fast forwarding in the future of like Tucker Carlson's face being potentially on like a nomination board at the Golden Globes is like mind-boggling. Like, who could have predicted this like any number of years ago, much less like 5 years ago or even last year? Like, where we literally live in like a completely different world now. We really, really do. Like, it's, for better or for worse, it's what it is. So I'm just hoping more reasonable people will like start speaking out about things, because a lot of it right now is like very polarizing and kind of either or. And I feel like moderate people don't feel like they have a space to like just speak their thoughts or like be open and honest about stuff.
Or to hear fact-based news or fact-based reporting on what's happening. I agree. I actually am shocked at how many of these individuals have been thrown in. Now, I'm sure that a lot of them were thrown in just to say, hey, these were the biggest podcasts. We had to give them a fair shake, and they're never going to win. But even throwing their names in is amplification in some way. And I do find that very odd, considering that the mainstream media likes to control the narrative. And these were the guys that came in and really took the power away from the mainstream media. So to amplify those voices is something new. Whether they're going to give them an award or not, listing them out is amplification on some level. So interesting to see. And yeah, worlds colliding. And I think I wanted to add to what David said. The canceling of podcasters has actually had the opposite effect.
Yeah.
If anything,
yeah.
When a podcaster, when someone who has a podcast or somebody comes on to somebody else's podcast and half of the world says, don't watch this, somehow it gets 10x the views on YouTube. So it's had the opposite effect. And I think that is a good thing for our country.
Look at Rogan.
Media. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at Rogan. I mean, all the crap that they had. It's so funny. I was talking to someone the other day because I'm doing a parasite cleanse, and because I did all the testing and found out I had a parasite, and so we're doing a parasite cleanse.
Okay.
And a lot of people are like, how do you get parasite? You can get it from like eating pork or raw fish, or sometimes if you have pets, like, and they lick your face or something. Like, yeah, they're parasites. Listen. But anyway, it's funny because the medication that my doctor prescribed to me, I almost said subscribe, which by the way, subscribe on YouTube, is ivermectin. And I was like, oh, that was the horse dewormer that everybody thought Joe Rogan was crazy for taking back in 2020. Because that was the headline, was that Joe Rogan is taking a horse dewormer. And I'm like, no, ivermectin is something people have been taking forever. And the fact that I'm currently taking ivermectin for a parasite, which is technically a worm, and they do have a version of ivermectin that can help deworm horses, but it can also deworm people because it's a very standard medication that has been used for a long time.
Yeah, like almost 100. I think, wait, Shawn, didn't you just recently get rid of a parasite? How did you do that?
Oh, he just broke up with him.
Oh, man. Woo. Okay, we're in the hot seat. Yeah. No. I would like to plead my Fifth Amendment right to not speak on this subject, but I think you guys spoke on it for me.
Well, who else is avoiding subjects right now is Brigitte Macron. Because I don't know if you guys saw, but there were some headlines. Candace Owens, since we were just talking about her, feels vindicated because apparently there was on Brigitte Macron's personal tax account, the name Jean Michael was listed as her name on her personal tax account, and they're saying, oh, that was actually just a hacker that broke into the French government and changed her personal tax account name. And so they have identified the two individuals that they claim hacked the French government and changed Brigitte's name. They don't know how it happened because it's uncommon of something like this to happen. However, in this particular case, two random dudes happen to have hacked the French government.
It's interesting. I just want to know when our girl's going to be wrong. You know, I swear the good Lord's on her side, because every time she gets like cornered and people are like, that's it, you're a grifter, you've made all this up, like something falls out of the sky and vindicates her. So, you know, you go, girl. I don't agree with everything Candace says, but I'm never going to unfollow her, no matter how many people I do and did respect tell me to stop listening to or following her. I don't like that whatsoever. I know that's kind of a subject switch, but like that is so gross to me. That is so like tone and ideology policing that we're like not supposed to be doing as much on the right. So like I didn't leave the left to then get policed by the right and like some kinds of like Puritans or somebody who, you know, have allegiances other outside of like what America First is. I don't care. Like, I really could care less what your opinion is on that, especially if I feel like someone's doing something in good faith, then, or at least mainly in good faith, then, I mean, who am I to, who am I to, or who are you specifically to tell me not to follow somebody? That's crazy. And that's only going to get, like, I wish I could pay people to tell other people not to follow me, because that's like the best advertisement you could get. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't follow him. Don't listen to them. It's like, come on. Look, Nick is literally the perfect example of that. They tried to silence him the most, and that it breeds loyalists, because basically when you go on, it validates everything you say. If you're like, you know, I'm telling the truth and everyone's silencing me, and then you get silenced, it's like, even if what you're saying isn't necessarily true, people will believe it is because you just got validated. So yeah, that's why I think like low-key the censorship machine and all of that, they can't be dumb. They have to know they're doing more damage than good. I think it's truly a part of, this is something I really wanted to bring up. I actually wrote a note of one word, censorship, and then I looked back down and didn't remember what that was supposed to trigger, and I just remembered. But what do you guys think about, like, you know how Instagram and everything is really, really opened up when it comes to censorship? Like, we see a lot more, like, you know, offensive jokes and this and that kind of stuff. Like, more things are kind of allowed now. A lot of people are feeling like it's almost like a trap. Like, they're waiting, getting people nice and comfortable to really be honest online and say what they really think and feel. And then they're going to, like, really hammer down with the censorship, because I just don't know if this is sustainable.
Well,
what do you guys think?
David, what we saw was actually, I'm sure that all three of us could probably go and pull our last 365-day analytics, and you see a sharp, literally on election night, a sharp uptick in impressions. They were definitely censoring right-wing commentators, anyone who was leaning to the right, even moderates, the day of the election. I mean, we saw a massive shoot up, and then you kind of saw the ushering in of the tech CEOs and all of the tech leaders into the MAGA movement. They're a part of it on some level, at least at a leadership level. And I think that they are complying, but I think that we should all cautiously remember what was happening 3 years ago, under the Biden admin, where the Biden admin was instructing private social media companies to censor the speech of the American people, which is a gross First Amendment violation. So, you know, proceed with caution, but I will not shy away from sharing my memes. In fact, I threw one into the back channel chat, which is one of my favorites that I shared, bringing us back to Candace, is one of the posts I made that Candace retweeted, where I said, Diddy is running a sex ring. And the entire world goes, Candace Owens is crazy. And then the entire world 3 months later is like, we want the Diddy files. Brigitte Macron is a man. The entire world, Candace Owens is crazy. And then 3 months later, holy shit, Brigitte Macron is a man. And she reposted and she goes on, she's like, don't forget about BLM, this, that, and the other. So that's I have a little badge of Candace retweeted me. But No, what I do think, though, is I don't like the censorship on the right, and I don't know if everyone on the screen knows about the can of worms that they're opening by even bringing this up. I have tried to stay as far away from these controversies as possible because people are very passionate about them. And to be quite frank, I mean, David said it as well. I'm just not as passionate about some of these things. So I just don't care enough to fight with people on the internet about it.
No, I agree. People get too caught up and too hyper focused on, and it kind of becomes tribal-y. Well, here's the other thing that I'll add just to kind of like put a pin on that conversation, because I see this point that the left is trying to make about how the right is dividing itself, and the right, they're fighting with each other right now. But it's like we're forgetting that the left is like this teeny tiny fraction of people now, because anybody that took 1 inch to the right or 1 inch towards the middle or the center was immediately shoved out of the left. And so then the right just became this big melting pot of moderates and alt-rights, it's like this giant tent of all these different people that aren't your typical right-wing person, but suddenly we're all under this umbrella now because we don't identify with the left anymore. We don't identify as a Democrat. And so the reason you're finding some discourse is because, the people that are leaning towards the right are willing to have differences and are willing to debate those differences and not fall under this dogmatic ideology that the left has. Like, the left can't ever call each other out for anything. Right now, some of them are trying their best to call out like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but that's because that shit show blew up in front of the American people and you couldn't deny it anymore. Joe Biden was a fucking vegetable. So
they denied it. And they denied it up until the minute that they couldn't deny it anymore. I mean, we watched the presidential debate, but what I do want to say is what the right was united under was America first. And basically the DNC has effectively zero policy platform at all anymore, because Donald Trump took all of the good ideas from the Democrats and the Republicans and drove the MAGA movement in 2016. And he said, bring the gays, bring the women, bring them all, big tent party. And that is how we drove across the finish line in the last election cycle. But the right then can, dive into multiple different areas. Well, what does America First mean? Does that mean that we fund our allies' military operations because it keeps war away from us? But at the end of the day, I think, though, the right is more unified than, they're not going to digress to the left, versus the left people on the left have a higher chance of digressing to the right.
Yeah. And the right has always had a lot of ideological diversity. That's kind of like a calling card of ours. And that's only become more diverse since what Zack said. We built such a bigger tent post 2020. Post 16, 2020, and then 2024. I mean, it's only expanded since. So, a little discourse is definitely to be expected. I do like what Megan and Tucker have been reiterating, which is like the 5 pillars of MAGA and what it was supposed to be, which is like no endless wars, close the border, America first, all these things that almost every single person on the MAGA side agrees with, or on the new right agrees with. And unfortunately, what I think has been happening is that the same neocons that got us into the Iraq War, the same neocons that were also very supportive of COVID and everything, are the same ones trying to take this giant momentum that has been built by Trump and people like Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA and kind of guide it in a different direction. So I think that's troubling, especially considering the influence that Turning Point has. I mean, you could put it, Trump will be gone by 2028. Turning Point won't. You know what I mean? So Turning Point arguably has longer term potential of affecting the country. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it is important for us not to start, ripping each other's faces off, but it's also just as important for us to really define what we stand for, because there will be people, there are so many people, like you said, like a majority of people voted for Trump. There are so many people that are behind this movement. And if you don't think that there are manipulators just chomping at the bit to take the reins of that or guide it a certain way, then we're like deluding ourselves, like there are bad actors on all sides, and there are a lot of people within and without politics that are just looking out for their bottom line. And they either want to fund big pharma, keep funding that, or keep funding wars, or do all the things that just aren't as popular with America anymore.
The big difference between the left and the right, that if you think that there's no infighting on the left, you're out of your mind. The difference between the left and the right is that the left, they fight behind closed doors and they come out unified. And you will see them vote on party lines 100% of the time, very rarely, and only when they know that it isn't going to cost them will they allow a congressman or two to vote a certain way to help them in a swing district. Versus the right, we often debate our differences out in the public atmosphere, and then we shake hands and we walk away. And you've got pro-choice, pro-life people on the right, and they can get up on stage, have a debate, shake hands, and
look at Tommy Lauren.
Yeah. So there's versus the left. It's very like you've got to be. They're very well organized, is what I would say. So. There is infighting on the left too. It's happening. Schumer and AOC, you're ushering in an entire new generation of, I'm going to say, more further left, radical ideology, in my opinion. And that is fighting and pushing back against the establishment of the left. So we'll see what happens. But there's infighting there too. They just don't do it in public.
Oh yeah, it's a similar thing. It's A, generational. It's B, between the establishment and outside the establishment, with people like AOC Mamdani, et cetera. And then just like the left, like relinquished a lot of good populist policy and talking points over the last few years, and Trump picked those up beautifully and carried a giant populist movement. If we don't follow through on some of those things, the left will pick up that football right back up. Don't think that like 30 to 40% of like the new Trump voters that voted last year in 2024 will go right back and vote for a Democrat if they actually offer a solution for healthcare or anything.
Are we losing his audio?
I think, your audio is cutting out, David. We might just need
He may have to bump out and pull back in.
Well, no, I do agree that there is a lot of. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, as we're waiting, he mentioned he didn't think that Trump was going to be around.
I know. I thought, we picked up on the same thing because of the Steve Bannon thing. Because everybody's like, "Oh my God!"
Listen, it's not that. I don't believe. I've stood on stage. I spoke on stage to get the man elected. This is it. This is not something that he has already voiced privately and publicly. This is not something that he is going to go after, although there is, from a legal perspective, an interesting argument to be made, although I'm not an attorney. But I do not think that we will be seeing Donald Trump on the presidential ticket in 2028, but you better believe he is still going to be very involved in politics. I think that he should go and run for governor of California.
That would be hilarious if he
like how hysterical if he said, "All right, we've made America great again, and we're gonna go make California great again." He must build Mar-a-Lago 2.0 and goes and runs California. I think it would be the biggest troll in the history of politics. I don't know. He's broken records already. But speaking of that, his what I found very interesting, which was another discussion topic, is the new magazine cover, the new Time magazine cover.
Okay, because the first Time magazine cover was rough.
Yeah.
And the new one, I actually really like the new. I feel like they finally did some justice for Trump, because the first one was pretty gnarly. It was that, what was it, like the it was like the up the coochie shot from the bottom up. Yeah.
and the lighting was really bad. The lighting was it's not that the lighting was terrible, it was natural lighting, but with the angle of the shot, listen, I think
the angle.
The most hysterical thing, we have to step back though and acknowledge something here. Okay. That's
horrible.
Donald Trump literally brokered a peace agreement between Gaza and the Palestinians in Gaza, whatever the correct terminology is, I don't really care, and Israel, ending an eternity long, potentially ending, I should add an asterisk there, or on a pathway to ending a conflict that has literally been going on forever. And Donald Trump somehow made this entire thing. That's why I got the cover. And the headline is, I don't like my hair. And that is just, we have to acknowledge that Donald Trump is a master messenger. And he is just like driving this. I think it's hysterical that Trump has like made this entire thing. Now they came back and they gave him the big, beautiful cover for his triumph.
Much better.
Israel and Gaza. It looks great.
Did you notice? Did you hear that there was a Nazi reference in the I guess it's like a nod to like some sort of Nazi like Trump's world is supposed to be like an homage to I guess this other famous photo with Mark Benioff.
I have not.
Well,
they're trying to compare.
Trump's world.
I mean, everything's Nazi these days. It's
you know who else lived in the world? Hitler. So
did he?
Trump is, yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy.
What?
Well, contrary to popular belief, Hitler actually drank water and breathed air, just like
disgusting.
Us.
Just like Charlie Kirk did, and he was apparently a Nazi too. Did you see that Jamie Lee Curtis got a lot of flack for, I guess, speaking kindly of Charlie after his passing, or at least like honoring him? And like, here, let's play the clip of her actual soundbite. She was on Mark Maron's podcast, and she is now backtracking this in her latest interview.
Chris was killed 2 days ago.
Kirk, Charlie.
I'm sorry.
Kirk. Right?
Kirk. I just call him Chris. I think because of Christ. Because
total fucking liar. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know his name, and she fumbled that ball. She didn't think of Christ when she thought of Charlie Kirk. But okay.
Because of his deep belief. I mean, I disagreed with him on almost every point I ever heard him say.
Yeah.
But I believe he was a man of faith. And I hope in that moment when he died that he felt connected to his faith, even though I find his ideas were abhorrent to me.
Yeah.
I still believe he's a father and a husband and a man of faith. And I hope whatever connection to God means that he felt it. Yesterday was 9/11. I know there is video of his assassination. I know people who've seen it. Yesterday, we watched again these images of those buildings coming down. We as a society are bombarded with imagery. So we don't know what the longitudinal effects of seeing those towers come down over and over and over and over again, or watching his execution over and over and over again. We watched the Zapruder film, by the way, my birthday, November 22nd. I'm associated with this awful day of someone being assassinated on television. But it's, as you know, the Zapruder film is the only visual document that moves, that shares that horror of what happened. But here we have now these images.
All the time, every day.
And we are inured to them and we are numb to them, but they are in there. We don't know We don't know enough psychologically about what that does.
Okay. Now, that's what she said originally on Mark Maron's podcast. She did a new interview with Variety, and she's claiming that this was that people saying that she was speaking kindly of Charlie Kirk, it was a mistranslation to what she actually said. She says, an excerpt of it mistranslated what I was saying as I wished him well, like I was talking about him in a very positive way, which I wasn't. I was simply talking about his faith in God. So it was a mistranslation, which is a pun, but not. In the binary world, you cannot hold two ideas at the same time. I cannot be Jewish and totally believe in Israel's rights to exist, and at the same time, reject the destruction of Gaza. You can't say that because you get vilified for having a mind that says, I have both of these thoughts. I can be contradictory in that way. She said, if I was careful, I wouldn't have told you any of what I just told you. I would have just said, hi, welcome. I baked you a banana bread. Here's my dog. Here's my house, blah, blah, blah. What do you want to know? I can't not be who I am in the moment.
I think that's fair.
There's a couple things, though. First of all, what she said was effectively that she hoped that whatever connection it was that he had with his God, that he was close to that at the end of his life, which I think is a very blanket statement. The way that she even phrased it was like a-religious. It could have applied to any religion. And the pushback from the left was accusing her of humanizing an individual with these ideologies that they find to be dehumanizing. So the people who are fighting for trans rights under the names of like human rights are upset that she is humanizing Charlie Kirk, which I just find abhorrent. And then I think that the bigger kicker here was her argument about the binary world, which I think is just hysterical considering that she has, she's pushing back on this, right? She's saying in this binary world that we live in, I can't be Jewish and be against what's happening in Gaza. And it's like, no, actually you can. Like, welcome to diversity of thought and having different opinions. We do it all the time over here on the right. And I just think it's hysterical. She's calling out this binary world and saying, the left puts me in these boxes and that's not how things work. If anything, I imagine she should be getting more pushback on that than saying what she said about Charlie Kirk.
She really didn't say anything bad. Like you said, all she did was humanize him.
She didn't even humanize him. She said, I hope that whatever he felt about religion, that he was close to that at the end of his life, because she herself has deeply held religious beliefs, supposedly, and that is why she said it. It wasn't even about him, really.
I don't really take issue with anything she said. I think it's just more sad that she felt that pressure and had that blowback and that like cowardly kind of like weasel out of it was, disappointing. But like she did low-key just have like a human moment. This woman is clearly super, super indoctrinated and of the left with her whole like, trans daughter and all of that. So the fact that she had like a little bit of a human moment and like, look how quickly they just like wanted to snuff that out is like, you literally cannot treat your political opponents as human beings. Otherwise you become the enemy of the movement too. And they will like whip you right back into line, which is crazy, which is so deeply disturbing and like not sustainable whatsoever. I don't get how people aren't seeing like the complete correlation of this like environment, that this like heartlessness and just this brazen lack of humanity and inhumanity. And then how did they not see that the correlation with the rise of political violence and executions and it's because people feel emboldened, people feel hopeless, and then people feel people are radicalized and then feel emboldened to act out that radicalism, and then they feel justified because you go online and then you'll have people literally justifying murder. So it's so crazy that a human response to that, saying he was still a father, he was a husband, he was a man of faith, and he died in front of everyone, that's what they choose to attack. She didn't even make an ideological statement whatsoever. So it goes to show that, like, that movement can't continue without the inhumanity, because it always degrades to that. You always have to dehumanize your political opposite in order to treat them like non-human. And that's where we're at.
To silence opinions. And I think the key part here that I would encourage listeners to the show, viewers, to watch for is when people say, I'm so upset that, I wish him well, I wish that he died peacefully, but I definitely didn't agree with anything that he ever said at all. Yeah. Like, I want to make sure that everybody knows that I disagreed with everything that came out of Charlie Kirk's mouth. But I hope that he, makes peace with his God. This bothers me. It's bothering me a lot, because now you have people going back and actually pulling the clips. And you can see the clips of Charlie Kirk debating with the trans students with students who identify as trans on campus. Yeah. And he is nothing but filled with love in his heart and saying, I want you to love yourself and find it within yourself to love yourself. So I think, I don't know, we've got to watch this. And to David's point, when it actually happens, it's funny too that the left is the one doing this while screaming about fascism and totalitarianism, because it's one voice at a time when you silence. So if we say, well, people who are against or have a different viewpoint on trans ideology, they cannot speak, they cannot be platformed. People who have a different viewpoint on this cannot speak and cannot be platformed. It's one by one that they go down this road, and then no one has a voice to speak.
Yeah. And Jamie's been the biggest advocate for, her trans daughter. And I think she's gone viral a few times for saying that you can't tell either of her daughters apart. Her trans daughter is every much a woman in compared to her other daughter, and you can't tell which one is trans, because they're both women.
Daughter, I would be pissed. Like, I'm putting you in a nursing home,
which
Mom.
one?
If you said it about me, guess.
Although,
wild guess.
If you told me that two of the people on the screen were trans, I would guess that Jamie Lee Curtis might fall. with
I remember those rumors.
Bone shaping, maybe, but no, this is lunacy.
There were rumors back in the day that she was hermaphrodite. I think I remember hearing
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, there were rumors back in the day that she was but I don't think they're like valid. I think they were like actually just like bullshit rumors. But I mean,
pop her up tabloid.
I do bring that up because I don't know if you guys heard, but Don Lemon said that Megyn Kelly, he was on a podcast and they're talking about how Megyn Kelly, they don't find her to be an attractive woman. And Don specifically said that he thinks that Megyn looks trans, which is just funny that now people on the left are using trans as an insult to, consider that a biological woman can look masculine, which I actually don't think Megyn Kelly looks masculine at all.
No, I mean, she has strong features. Yeah, she's a beautiful woman. And like, if you have a strong jaw or a strong chin as a woman, like a skosh of androgyny are like the most beautiful people. So like, Megyn Kelly's gorgeous. Like, whatever, they're so jealous. She worked at Fox. She had to be a bombshell. So
listen, and they're doing the same thing to Riley Gaines too. It's hysterical actually to watch on Twitter or X when they go after Riley Gaines and they say, "You look trans." Like, what's that? Which team are you on?
What is that? But what does that even mean? You look trans. You look like a dude.
And but it's like you're also telling me though that trans women are women, and we can't tell the difference, and nobody even knows that this is happening. And like, but then Riley Gaines looks trans. Like, these people are living in a lunatic world. This ideology will eventually come to crumble because it cannot continue to exist. It actually is. In fact, to bring some news or statistics to the show, in the past 2 years, David, you may have seen these statistics, but trans, non-binary, and genderqueer identifiers have sharply declined, while lesbian, gay, and bi have stayed roughly flat. So you saw this very sharp uptick in 2020 when everyone was at home, bored out of their minds because they were locked down during COVID. And you've seen a very sharp downturn, close to 10 or 15% drop. So we're seeing a sharp drop. This gender ideology is going to crumble because it cannot continue to exist.
I just learned what sapphic is. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's
they
like
added another letter,
lesbian, right?
What?
Did they add another letter?
Sapphic is just a different form of female love, isn't it? Or a different word.
So
it's like
sapphic,
the Greek origin of
sapphic
sapphism.
is women identifying who love other women. So it's meant which to me, I was like, so lesbians. It's just lesbian. And they're like, no, it's to include like trans women who identify as women. I was like, but isn't the whole fucking argument that trans women are women? So why do they get a sub tier?
Do you guys get an email when they actually how do you know about this? And
I unsubscribed.
They took my gay card away years ago. I didn't pay my dues and they took it. They haven't given it back. But this is lunacy.
Yeah, that's huge right now. Lesbians are having like a really big moment, you know, like since Billie came out and then went back in, like lesbians have been like all the rage. Yeah. Remember?
Billie Eilish is not lesbian anymore? She was lesbian?
Well, yeah, her that whole album, Hit Me Hard and Soft, had like 6 songs about being a lesbian.
I didn't know. Well, I guess she kind of looked like a lesbian, but you know, I don't
the
like
entire time. Yeah, the entire time Billie was lesbian coded from the jump. Sapphic AF or whatever.
Can I say that I changed my mind on this? I actually support this. I support this letter. Yep, I support this letter. And I would like one for the gay men as well. And here's why. Because
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, so I'm not
a lesbian.
I have to really watch what I have to really watch what and how I say things. So let's just say I want the gay bars to be filled with gay men, and especially right now that I'm like going out into the world, just me, myself, and I would love for the gay bars to have gay men and not women pretending to be men. I don't like this dating show that was going on in the UK where they put the trans guy in with all of the other gay guys and forced them to. I don't like this. This is actually how we go down the road of it's 21st century conversion therapy. But no, let's give them a separate letter. I love that idea. I will support another letter for them.
Sapphic. So you want more sapphic representation?
Well, I want one for the guys.
The guys. Why is it okay though?
One for the...
I see all the time in people's bios, no MAGAs, no white dudes. Like they have all these terms that they don't or like if you're gay, then you're allowed to say I'm not attracted to women and like that's tolerable. But why can't you just be like a dude that like I have a preference for guys that happen to be dudes because I don't know, I'm gay and I don't like women. So why would I date a dude that's a woman? You know,
oh my
like,
God, you guys would. I wonder if LA is as bad as Seattle area is, but like going on any gay dating apps is such a joke. It's like if they're not like what's it called? If they're not transvestites, then they're like full on trans, or then they're like they look like, you know, like the chubby high school girl that was friends with the gay boys, always wished she could be a gay boy, and then she's like dyes her hair blue, cuts it kind of short, and says she's a boy now, and they're all over the apps. I mean, straight up just looks like a slightly heavier or very heavy
they look
chick
like
with
women.
Like,
they are women.
Yeah, they like it looks like a heavy girl with a little bit of like peach fuzz coming in here, like the kind of peach fuzz that like an 11-year-old Mexican boy will have in spades already, and they're like on hormones for like 3 years to get a little thing like that, and then we're supposed to be like, oh, you're a man, I want that. Babe, I have eyes. I am currently not on acid, and you are still a girl. I'm so sorry. You're a very
But
confused girl with new chin hair, but congrats.
That's
on that.
transphobic, though.
I know.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You have
You
to
can do it in the reverse, though.
You have
Yeah,
to,
for sure.
David. And if you don't, if you aren't attracted to the female-born person who's pretending to be a man, you are transphobic. You're not allowed to do that. This actually gets into a bigger issue. Listen, let's all just be like, can we be frank here as 3 gay men? Gay men need gay men spaces because we're gay men and we do gay men things.
We need gay men bathrooms.
That's
Yeah. If you go into a girl's bathroom, you will not find a hole in any of the stalls. Okay, that's because they do not have the equipment.
I'm gonna lose.
They bring 3 holes of their own.
Grizzly Pine. Listen, there's this thing that gay men like to do. They like to go camping and like hang out naked because men are men and gay men just like to be naked out in the woods together. Like, let them do it. And like now there's all these women coming in saying I'm a gay man, and it's ruining our gay spaces. Like, get out of our gay spaces and let us have our gay camps with our gay penises.
I wonder if
And
the
gay
Bohemian
bathrooms.
Grove allows trans men.
Oh.
Yeah, once they do, that's when I'll start allowing it. Okay, how about that? Once the Bohemian Grove allows trans men, I'll be right behind you.
I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I was naked in a forest, though.
Maybe.
Careful, you're about to get
How
your gay
often
card
are
revoked,
people?
too.
How often? Well,
No, it's a camp. It's like a thing. It's like a campground for gay men.
These are the camps that Trump was putting us in.
Yes, exactly.
Now I get it.
Exactly. And we do witchcraft in the woods at night.
Do we
no.
expecto Patronum?
I thought I was doing the camp I was promised. I bought the drink package and the Wi-Fi. I think I'm going somewhere more tropical. You guys can have fun in the woods. I'll be by the pool.
Well, since I know the GOP hates us, but Shawn, I heard that Republicans are actually doing pretty well considering we're on 29 days of a government shutdown.
Yeah, the vast majority of Americans don't even know that the government is shut down. And there's a rolling joke in the GOP right now about we should just keep it shut down until 2027. Which when I heard that on a Twitter space the other day, I shook because I realized that 2027 is really close. And I was born in 1997, which means 2027 is going to be my 30th, which is going to be very scary. Anyways, but if we can fund the basic necessities, military pay, basic benefits, food stamps, etc., the vast majority of people are not going to notice that we're not sending money to Zambia or wherever for random things. So and sending condoms to Gaza to help cure some new form of space AIDS. I don't know.
Are they Trojan condoms? Because I hear those are strong, so they might be bomb secure.
That actually was a whole thing, but I'm not sure the accuracy of that. They were using the condoms to make.
Oh no!
Am I right?
Not the bunker busting condoms.
But on that note, yeah, I mean, I think that we should just keep it shut down. And the only people that are going to be hurt by it in the long run are Democrat constituents. So vote out your Democrat representatives who won't fund the government for your benefits. Like, it's pretty simple. I don't actually see a losing side for the Republicans in this fight.
Isn't it wild that AOC is complaining about the government being shut down, but I just see her and Bernie on like this press tour where they're going around like campaigning their 2028 ticket that they think is going to be coming. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think we kind of briefly touched on like the benefits and all that. My kind of like warning, or at least like little tidbit, of that with like Republicans celebrating like food benefits being cut off or anything. I don't think that's a good look. I think that's a little déclassé. And B, like we should, if we're in the same breath, you know, bitching about sending money overseas, I would 10 times rather have food stamps in my country than have money being sent overseas for trans education in Namibia. You know what I mean? Like, who cares about that? But we shouldn't be like, I think it's going to be like a very edgy double-edged sword, and it's not going to be a good look. Is if our party is going to be pushing for more funding in wars and throwing money overseas, while at the same time we're cutting off Americans' benefits, whether they're black, white, Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. It's not a good look. And all in all, I think what America spends per year on food stamps for everyone is like under $100 billion. To me, that's not that crazy by comparison to what we've already sent to Ukraine, Israel, to what's the other country? I forget, in some country in Africa. I'm sure there's more than one. So like all that, I don't know, call me crazy. I'd rather have the resources spent on
I grew up on
Americans.
I grew up on it. I'm not embarrassed to say that. Like I was in a broken family. My dad lost his job. We were on multiple different forms of government support while my dad got back up on his feet. I'm not calling for that. In fact, the government did shut down because the Democrats refused to vote for a continuing resolution to literally not do anything except for funding what is already being funded. And Trump pulled $300 million of the unused tariff revenue to fund WIC and food stamp programs. So I am by no means calling for us to end those assistance programs. My call is I would love for Trump to, there are billions of dollars that have already been allocated. Let's reallocate them and just keep funding. Like, let's just reallocate funds and fund the things that are most necessary. Military pay, TSA pay, WIC benefits, Medicaid benefits, and disability benefits, etc. Like, let's fund that foundation and then let everything else just keep rolling. And after a year and a half, when no one feels fazed by it, we kind of can all say, well, were we right about this? Like,
Well, I mean, I think that's the point of America first. And I think that's why it's important for us to call these things out and say when we don't agree with stuff as well. Like, my mom was on WIC, that's how she provided for my brothers who were babies. Like, she utilized that program, but for her, it was temporary. And she used it for when she needed it and used it to get on her feet and then, kept the train moving. And so I also come from just where I grew up, there were a lot of people that did abuse the welfare system and that became, career welfare abusers, where all they knew how to do was to live off of these resources rather than use them as temporary stepping stones. And they had their whole system down of like, how do I work the government and what do I have to say? And they had the whole system down, and they would pass it generation to generation and teach their kids how to continue to live off of the government. And that's where I think we need to regulate those a bit more. But by all means, I think the money should be staying in America and should be helping the American people rather than funding wars and other bullshit outside of our own country.
Well, food stamps used to be stamps. They used to be different colored stamps.
Oh, yeah.
And then the government said, well, we have to get rid of this because, it's not fair to the people who are on food stamps that they have to use food stamps at the register. It's embarrassing for them. Well, you're removing the stigma of this, that like a societal stigma around like, yes, it's embarrassing, but like I'm going through a hard time and I'm using the benefits that I am entitled to. But there was like a smidge of like, I don't want to be on this, versus how we have landed now, which is it's an entitlement. I'm entitled to this benefit and I'm going to collect on it. The exact same thing that, happened with body positivity. So there is stigma around being morbidly obese, but we're trying to usher in this, well, not we, but the left is trying to usher in many people, not just the left, trying to usher in this like body positivity movement. Like, we should prop these people up. Like, no, there needs to be a stigma to these things. It's unhealthy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think also we like grossly underestimate how much these wars actually cost, because it's not just about like funding and materials and the planes and the bullets and the tanks. It's about all of the veterans that need assistance afterwards. It's about all the people that died and the families that need assistance from the government
Yeah.
because their father died in Iraq or Afghanistan. It's actually in the trillions. I didn't know that until I started really looking into it. So when Ben Shapiro goes on TV and argues that Social Security and food benefits are actually much more of a big burden to America than our endless wars in the Middle East have been, that's actually demonstrably untrue. It really depends on how you calculate the numbers, sure, but war is like a really all-encompassing thing and costs a lot more than just the bullets that we're sending over or the ships or XYZ. We're still recovering from the effects that Iraq and Afghanistan had on the American economy. So, I mean, when I found out how much the total cost of food benefits being under 100 billion for all people that were on it, that was crazy to me, because I know that we had sent like more than
Always right in the middle of a good point too.
I know. Always right in.
The other thing to note as well is like we demolish these war zones, and then we spend 20 years sending foreign aid to the country that we demolished so that they can rebuild. Nothing gets rebuilt, and we just continue to send funds, for eon until I don't know when. But like we are the ones that demolished this. I don't know.
And then those wars, this is something that the left is low-key right about, but like, in to a certain degree, but we launch these wars, then it creates a migrant crisis because we decimated entire cities and regions. So then it creates a migrant crisis not only for us, but for Western Europe. And then we'll get online and piss and moan about when America is changing, yet these same people will be supporting more what's it called, democracy spreading wars. Like, and they're already talking about that with Argentina and Maduro. They've already been talking about that with Iran. They've wanted that since the 80s. So it's like, that's one thing I will say openly, is that I feel like the Trump administration has been taken over by quite a bit of war hawks and people that are very trigger happy. And I don't know if that's because of his donors or what, or if they were just able to play on like his ego maybe a little bit, be like, you're going to be like a big old wartime president or something. But I don't like it, because this was precisely the opposite of what we were promised. So I'm not saying it's all bad, but my God, we need to make sure that we're holding that accountable, because if we're at the very least not anti-war, then it's like, what the hell are we?
Well,
we're anti-racist.
Right.
A massive base in the MAGA movement. I'm going to say the vast majority of the people in the MAGA movement, the vast majority, do not believe that we should be funding foreign wars. But I do think that Donald Trump and his whatever you want to call them, representatives, are going to say what they need to say and move certain chess pieces to get things done. I don't know that it necessarily means that we're, engaging boots on the ground. If we do, I will adamantly oppose that. But I think that we do have to understand too, like, negotiation is a part of this, and we can make threats. It's the carrot or the stick, So some of what he's saying, but I do think you mentioned Maduro, and I just want to add, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Maduro basically offered literally everything in quotations to the Trump administration for them to just leave him alone and let him continue to be dictator. He said, you can have my family, you can have all of our mineral rights, like all of our oil, just let me stay in power. And that is peace through strength.
There you go.
Yes, neocolonialism. I'm kind of into it.
All right, guys. I know there's a lot more that we can get into, but I guess we'll just have to wait until next Wednesday to dive into more. When is the election? Oh, this is the final week to get in.
Oh my God. Yeah. Tell me about it.
The election ballots.
6 days left. I'm managing a mayor's campaign right now, and it's intense, and it's so insane how crazy the attacks get in the few weeks until the election's out. I had a very similar experience last year when I was doing I was the social media manager for a big super PAC in Washington. And Bill Gates and Paul Allen spent $40 million against us in the last 30 days of the election against these 4 initiatives that we had on the ballot, including buying like $1.5 million spots on Sunday and Monday Night Football. And it worked. It literally worked. Like they had billionaires pay all this money. And the best part is that the attack ads were accusing the millionaire funding the initiatives of being a billionaire and trying to create billionaire tax cuts. And he's not even a billionaire, and the attack was by billionaires. So it was like, it's so crazy. But yeah, we're in the last like 5-6 days. Haven't really slept much. I don't really eat anyway, but so that's been normal. But yeah, it's been really intense. You guys, please vote.
Well,
please vote.
We're going to have a skinny 2026, I guess.
Yeah.
Skinny start to 2026. The only thing that I want to add is that people do not realize, particularly people who are independent and lean right, how critically important local elections are. You should be way more concerned about your mayor and your governor and your city council and your school board than you are for who is running or who gets president of the United States. And the left is really good at this stuff. They rally together and they get people out to vote in these off-year elections. And that is how we end up with massive blue waves in school boards and city councils. So get yourself registered if you're not, and go out, take it seriously, and go out and vote. It doesn't take long. And it's very important. Vote from the bottom up, not the top down.
There is a shift, though. I mean, my mayor candidate, who's like pretty on the right, he just got endorsed by the local Teamsters union. First time they've ever endorsed a mayor ever.
Republican.
Yes. Well, I mean, technically, he's like a Republican by his values, but it's a nonpartisan race. So I like hesitant to even say he's a Republican because they attack him so much because of any correlation with that. But yeah, he is. And the Teamsters union endorsed him because they've been absolutely just like decimated, and they're trying to get rid of their pensions. All the Democrat city council is trying to do that because they want to pay for other big bloated projects. So it's actually like crazy, and you're so right. Pay attention to your local races and vote. You have like 5 more days to turn in your ballot, so please do it. But also there's some good candidates coming out of the woodwork now, so I try to that's like my whole thing, is turning good people into great candidates. And I've been busy, so that's a good thing.
I know that we're like really tight on time, but remember in 2020, like before 2020, nobody knew who their governor was. Nobody knew, what powers the governors had. And then boom, we hit that pandemic. Trump said it's up to the governors, and suddenly all these people, everybody's like, "Who's my governor?" And what is their stance on this? Like, vote. You need to build your ballot from the bottom up, not the top down. They're really important. And make sure too, on any of the propositions, I saw someone popped up said, I voted no on Prop 50, which I believe is the redistricting in California, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Gerrymandering.
Yeah. So, well, look, I'm in North Carolina, and we just gerrymandered the heck out of our state. And you know what? I don't care. I just don't care. But it's sending me warning signs that Republicans need to be worried about midterms, but I don't really care. You guys can gerrymander the heck out of California if you want, because we'll do it to 4 or 5 more states, and we're going to come out with 5 or 6 on top of you. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't want to play the game, but
yeah, I just wanted to have a moment for this queen, Katie Porter, here in California. Don't vote for Katie if you don't want scalding hot mashed potatoes dumped on our state, guys.
Or screamed at. Like, my God, she's scary.
She's scalding hot mashed potatoes is diabolical. That's crazy.
I love her. I mean, I don't want her to be the governor. I don't want her to be the governor of California, but I love her. Like Kamala Harris. Like, she's the best meme. Like, she's hilarious. She just is drunk, fumbling around everywhere, just cackling. You just hear her cackle in the distance, like a distant echo.
She's a character. I mean, God bless her. I kind of miss her, honestly. I miss her a little bit.
Kamala?
I know.
Yeah, I do.
We need her to fall out of the coconut tree again.
Out of the coconut tree.
Please. I want to live in the context one more time.
My head's starting to hurt. Trying to.
I just want to know, like, what I just want to know what accent she's using these days.
It's different by what area.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member.
I wanted to go like full Boombaclat Jamaican. That would be great.
Have you no empathy, man?
She did do a Jamaican.
She did Jamaican, yeah. Have you no empathy, man?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
that was
she did Hispanic when she was in front of the Hispanic when she was like, "I love you back."
I would pay like some real serious money to see footage of her on election night because I know she was hammered. Like
she just had the bottle of
she
Jack.
was wine drunk, which I think she was wine drunk. I think she was down a bottle of wine. And the next morning she had one of those wine hangovers behind her eyes. I want the footage. I would pay Coachella money.
Or just read her book. I'm sure she talks about it.
She doesn't. Well, actually, she does, but it's not interesting at all.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Well, on this note, we are so back, and you can get Shawn's merch over at Shop 47 Club, right, Shawn? Shop 47 Club.
Yep.
Go
and
check
I think
it out. Give Shawn
right now is still buy 2 get 1 free or something. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Check the Twitter.
Follow Shawn at Shawn on the right. Follow David at American David. It's American without the A. Both of the links are in the description below, so you can click and follow and support. And we'll keep it going. We'll probably have to talk about gerrymandering next week after the election.
Yeah,
and the election's next Tuesday. Oh, so we'll be one day post-election.
I know. Wish me luck, you guys. Lord.
Will California count the votes in time?
Probably not. Well, they already know the answers. They've already figured it out. So they already know what the election's going to determine.
They already know the outcome of the election. I love this.
Yeah. Thank you, Newsom.
Well,
all right.
Thank you, Zach. This was awesome. Great conversation today. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys. Yes, follow Shawn on the right. Follow David, American David. You can follow me at Just Plain Zack or follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack and catch new episodes of No Filter with Zack Peter streaming live weekday mornings, Monday through Friday on YouTube, on X, and you can watch on Spotify or listen on Apple Podcasts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave an Apple Podcast review, do all the things, and be sure to check out No Filter All Access if you want ad-free episodes. All right, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow. Gentlemen, I'll probably text you later. And we will make gay bathrooms our agenda for 2026.
Yes. And we need to think of a name by next week for this segment, for this show.
We do. Shawn and I have bounced around some ideas, but we need to solidify something. So we'll
work on it. I'll put it on the to-do list.
All right. Sounds good, you guys.
Bathrooms.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye, guys.
Gay bathroom.